My name is Matt Elfring. For 5 years, I was stranded on an island with only one goal: survive. Now, I will fulfill my father's dying wish to use the list of names he left me and bring down those who are poisoning my city. To do this, I must become someone else. I must become something else. So I decided to become the person doing voiceover for our favorite Easter eggs from Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event on the CW. Taking place over 5 nights, each of the CW/DC shows pitted its heroes against the Anti-Monitor, an evil being trying to destroy the multiverse. And because this massive event contained every hero and some villains from CW's Arrowverse, of course there's going to be some Easter eggs and references to other DC properties, from movies to forgotten TV shows to comic books. And we picked our 15 favorite from the Crisis on Infinite Earths and present them to you in no particular order. Number 1. The crossover included more than just characters from the Arrowverse. In part 1, Robert Wuhl popped up, reprising his character Alexander Knox from the 1989 Batman movie on Earth 89 nonetheless. Additionally, Burt Ward popped up and he played Robin on the 1966 Batman series. This is probably where I would say something like, "Holy cameos, Batman!" but I'm not gonna do it. Number 2. For a brief moment in part 1, we see TV's Wil Wheaton, primarily known for his role as Timothy Higgins on one episode of Family Ties, holding a sign that says, "Prepare to meet thy doom. The end of the world is nigh." That same exact sign appears in the movie Superman 2. Number 3. We've been waiting practically our whole lives to see Batman the Animated Series star Kevin Conroy play the Cape Crusader in a live-action setting. Not like this, though! Conroy appears as a seriously dark version of Bruce Wayne that's not only killed a number of famous villains, including the Joker, but even the Superman of his Earth. Number 4. Straight out of Earth Number Netflix, we get the first appearance of Lucifer star Tom Ellis playing Satan himself. This makes perfect sense because Lucifer is very familiar with Constantine, and hopefully this is something explored more in the future. Number 5. Not only did we get to return to Smallville, but we got caught up on the lives of Clark Kent and Lois Lane from that show. On Earth-Smallville, Clark has given up his Kryptonian powers and is living a normal life with Lois, raising their kids. Good for you, buddy. Way to be a dad. Number 6. So this Easter egg actually is kind of 2 different things packed into one. Not only does it introduce the Spectre to the Arrowverse, but it also references NBC's Constantine series, which lasted 1 season, and that is just criminal. So when Spectre introduced himself as Jim Corrigan, Constantine was quick to point out,
"Not the one I know."
That version of the Spectre was introduced on Constantine's standalone series. Again, criminal, it only lasted 1 season. Number 7! There are plenty of nods to the Crisis on Infinite Earths comics, which makes sense since it's based off the comics. This, though, is an interesting reversal of roles. On the cover of the comic, Superman holds a dead Supergirl in his arms, RIP. However, in the Arrowverse, it's a living Supergirl holding on to the cape of a Superman that she believes to be deceased. Number 8! Holy movie crossover, Batman! This moment was kept perfectly under wraps leading into the crossover, and we are so glad it was. Having Ezra Miller reprise his role as Barry Allen from the Justice League movies, only to meet the Arrowverse Barry Allen, is perhaps the most perfect moment in the crossover. Where else but in the Speed Force would 2 Flashes meet? Number 9. Of course, superheroes are going to have fans that simply want a little bit of an autograph. Now here an older gentleman asks The Flash and Supergirl for one, but he sure does look familiar. That's because he's legendary comic writer Marv Wolfman.
MARV?
Guess what? He was the writer of the Crisis on Infinite Earths comics. I guess that's pretty fitting. Number 10. Towards the finale of the crossover, we get a few shots of other Earths in the multiverse, and one of them features the planet Oa, where the Green Lantern Corps is based out of. Now, what's so special about this scene is that it's the universe where Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie took place. You remember that one, right? It's the movie where the villain was a space cloud. Number 11. So things took a turn for the weird in the final moments of Part 5 as a monkey escapes inside the abandoned warehouse Flash and company commandeered for their new headquarters. There is a very slow pan on an animal cage with a banana hanging out of it, and the nameplate on it says GLEEK. While we never see Gleek, we can hear him, and this actually isn't a monkey. Gleek is a blue alien that looks like a monkey from the Super Friends cartoon from the 80s. He's primarily found with the shape-shifting Wonder Twins. Number 12. Right after we hear Gleek, we get to see the fancy new Justice League headquarters, which looks really familiar. Well, that's because it's modeled after the building from the Super Friends cartoon. Wait a minute, does that mean we'll see Aquaman riding around on a giant seahorse in the Arrowverse soon? I hope so. Number 13. While he played Superman in the movie Superman Returns, Brandon Routh's Superman has gone through some changes since we last saw him, and one of those things is a costume change. Routh's new Superman costume is a callback to the comic series Kingdom Come from 1996. All we're missing is some Magog and the death of Billy Batson. Sorry, spoilers for a comic that came out 24 years ago. Number 14. You didn't forget about Birds of Prey, did you? No, not the Harley Quinn standalone movie, the WB TV show that lasted one season. Even that series gets its due in Crisis as we see Ashley Scott reprising her role as Huntress, aka Helena Kyle, the daughter of Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle. Number 15. If you read DC Comics, then you know if there's a crisis event coming, someone wearing a Flash costume is going to bite the dust. Luckily for Grant Gustin's Barry Allen, he lives to fight another day. However, John Wesley Shipp's Barry, which we saw in that 1990 Flash TV series, meets his maker, sacrificing himself for the greater good. Man, I'm really gonna miss that muscle suit. I need a muscle suit. So those are our 15 favorite Crisis on Infinite Earths Easter eggs and references. Let us know in the comment section below which ones were your favorites. And for more videos about movies and television shows and superheroes punching each other in the face, keep it tuned to GameSpot Universe.